What's going on, everybody? Connor here. CK Chop Shop episode 4 is a wrap. We had a very special guest on this episode, guys. We had Mr. Greg Chamberlain. I went to school with Greg. He's been my good friend for about 10 years now, and we chopped it up. He's got a book coming out. We talked about mindset. We talked about habits, and it was a really fun podcast. And then we went into a little bit of sports after, talked some NBA, some NFL, and some UFC. Stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and we're gonna bring some content here. We wanna hear from you guys. We wanna know what you want. If you guys want us to go to games and film some more content like we did last week at the Labor Day Classic, if you haven't watched this episode, check that out. But we wanna hear from you guys, okay? CK Chop Shop, episode 4, live in 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, what's going on, everybody? CK Chop Shop, episode 4. We are here, we are back, and we are excited. It's Saturday night. We got some great UFC fights going on tonight, and we're gonna chop it up. But before we get into the chopping, we got a special guest on the pod today. We got Mr. Greg Chamberlain. Greg, how you doing today?
Good, buddy. How about yourself? You know, CK Chop Shop number 4, couldn't miss it for anything, so I made sure I made an appearance for the boys here.
My guy, I appreciate you, Greg. Before we get into talking a little bit about sports and some real life stuff, Greg, let me learn a little about you, Greg. Tell the audience who you are, what you're all about.
A little bit about myself. It's pretty clear. For those most people know me, like people we hang out with. But for those that don't know me, as you said, my name is Greg. Also go by Mr. C. Work hard as a salesman every day, and then other than that, I like to do some stuff for myself in the spare time. Make some music. I'm in the process of writing a book, almost done my first book. And I just like to spend a lot of time being productive, try to get as much done as possible, live without any regrets. And over time, if you continuously put the work in, it's going to pay off at the end of the day. So I just try to make sure that every day I wake up, I make sure I have a good day. And I've kind of gotten to the habit of trying to get better each and every day and do some things for myself. So long story short, I've known Connor for about 8-10 years now. I don't know how long, since high school. Asher, real good friends with his brother, and you meet good people over time. You want to stick with them, and if you surround yourself with a good cast, it really kind of sets yourself up for success. So I just kind of try to stick around good people and build off yesterday and try to make tomorrow better. So that's kind of the path that I'm taking at this moment.
100%.
That's amazing, amazing mindset.
Yeah.
The growth mentality, the 1% better every day, and this podcast that we have here is kind of a product of that mentality, right? Mm-hmm. He said, living life with no regrets, saying, "Hey, I want to start a podcast. Get it started. Let's see what happens."
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
4 episodes deep right now. See how many more episodes we got going on. And that's why we brought Mr. C in the podcast.
Yeah,
that mentality,
exactly, bro. And yeah, that's why I wanted to bring you on, Greg, is because Greg's mindset is different than a lot of people. And he excels at taking risk, at getting 1% better every single day. And, we've had conversations, off camera, Greg, about this. And what do you have to say with regards to kind of just, mentally locking in and getting what you want done in life?
Well, obviously there's a lot. It's not just one thing. But one thing I would say is you kind of have to ask yourself questions about yourself, because what we tend to do is look at ourselves in the most positive light. We like to treat ourselves as who we think we are instead of who we actually are. So if you just look in the mirror and you kind of look at who you actually are, what you do on a daily basis, and who you are as a person, you can identify your weaknesses and just try to get better. And at least for me personally, like during COVID, I was kind of able to do that. I had a lot of time on my hands, and I kind of looked at my life and just, because everyone wasn't doing anything, right? You're staying at home, 100%. Like everything's locked down. So I just kind of took the approach, okay, let's take an evaluation of where I am at this point, see what we can do to kind of right the ship and take off here. So like Asher was saying about, just the growth mindset and you taking risk, one thing I've learned is you have to be willing to look like a fool at first, because people are going to ridicule you or say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. But nobody who succeeds in the long term succeeds at the beginning. So if you understand, like, you're going to make mistakes and it's going to take a long time, if you have a long-term horizon and a long-term approach, it'll go a long way into developing what you need to do to get it done.
No, 100%. I love that. And, you know, I think, Asher, you live by that motto as well. You can probably add a little 1-2 into this as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
I completely agree with everything Greg's saying. I've taken a lot of risks in my life so far. Some are slowly materializing to something, some not so much. But again, you got to make mistakes to learn and get better in life, right? Like, I just never been a fan of people that just talk about doing stuff and not doing it. You know what I mean? We only have so many years left in this planet.
For sure.
I don't want to be 80 and think to myself like, oh fuck,
There you
sorry,
go.
I wish I did this, or I wish I didn't do that, or whatever.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, not all of us are going to be Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, but you know, there's plenty of people that are living a good life, not being billionaires, and just doing what they're passionate about. You know
For sure,
I mean?
for sure.
So, you mentioned you're writing a book. What's the book, if you don't mind us?
Well, yeah,
asking?
I was just gonna say, because you're touching on a lot of things. Like, it's about personal growth and continuous improvement, and just some strategies I've learned over my time. Like, obviously, I do a lot of reading, and that facilitates into my writing. I do a lot of thinking, and then you can kind of put the thoughts on paper. And after you kind of review it, you learn more about yourself and you learn more about life. And if you just take the approach that everybody's a willing teacher and that you can just learn and get better every day, it's going to go a long way. And I've learned so much in my time that has motivated me to keep going and keep getting better, and just applying the lessons that I've learned has just helped me immensely. And part of the reason I'm writing the book is because I felt that one of the most powerful things I could do would be able to share that, because as you said, lots of people talk about it, lots of people have dreams or have aspirations, or they talk about, if I could do this, if I could do that. But at the end of the day, what it really boils down to is, if you decide or you think about what it is that you want, if it's realistic, you just have to put a plan into place. What can I do that will most likely lead to that outcome? Because if you know where it is you want to end up, you can modify your behaviors to make that outcome the most likely outcome. So what I've just been doing is I've been dialing in and focusing in on what it is that I want, and then I'm going after that. So the reason I write about personal growth and continuous improvement is because I know a lot of people have goals or dreams, and then they make excuses and they say, oh, this didn't work out because of this, or this didn't work out because of that. And me and Connor had this conversation the other day, but it's like, if you are really dialed in and focused on something, there's no excuse that can stop you from getting it. Because if you make the decision, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this, then the only one that can stop you is yourself.
100%. I'm sure you've heard of people like, you know, Tony Robbins or Gary Vee.
Yeah, of course,
like,
of course.
Gary or Cordone, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Greg Cordone, and like all these people, like, this is what they preach. You know, it's like self-help or motivation or whatever.
Yeah,
stuff. You know,
for sure. And like, I think actually, like, it ultimately comes down to yourself, right? Like, you know, you have those, you know, external factors, but at the end of the day, it's what you make it.
I completely agree.
Right.
But yeah, I think you know, this mentality has brought us here.
Yeah, like legitimately, bro. Legitimately, bro.
You know what I mean? So it's awesome stuff, and you know, we primarily talk sports on this podcast, but I don't think it's a bad thing to kind of deviate a little bit and talk about some topics that everybody can relate to. You know
For sure.
I mean? So, but yeah, Connor, I'll let you.
No, I love it, and like, I think we'll transition now into sports, but I think that was a really great conversation. My guy Greg, I appreciate you with some words of wisdom.
For sure.
Look out for his book coming out. Do we have a release date?
Most likely the end of 2023. Like, again, people ask me this all the time. It could be finished in 2 weeks, it could be 5 years. It's kind of how precise I want to make it, and I tend to be a perfectionist. I'm editing every line, every chapter, so I would say I'm about 60 to 70% done, but yeah, sometime in 2023, probably fall of 2023, I'll be checking in with you, and hopefully we'll have a release date.
Let's go.
One thing before we move on to sports, I want to say is documenting your journey, right?
I like that.
Like, one thing that like a lot of people like struggle, and I'm kind of also struggling with it too, is looking at a successful person and then hearing the advice that they tell you, like, oh no, just get 1% better every day, or work hard, put your head down, network, all the things that you hear people say. But it's kind of hard for a young person or young people like us to kind of look at that person and then kind of take the advice that you're saying in reality. You know what I mean? If I look like at any successful person, it doesn't have to be the big names, all these Fortune 500 guys, but just people that are living on Lakeshore in the mansions, and they tell you that advice, you can't really like soak it in full for what it's worth, because you're seeing them in their present day, not who they were 10 years ago.
Exactly.
So like I feel like it's really important to document your journey. You could be doing it through writing, you could be doing it through podcasts, through Spotify, YouTube, or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And then a lot of the people that you see that are successful, I've seen it before, where you go through, you know, like years of their catalog, like 5-6 years ago, and you see like, holy shit, man, this guy started like where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
right?
And you see it a lot of times, even like athletes, right?
Yeah.
It goes back to their childhood and like what they've been through and their journey and
like a kid, he was just bouncing
and,
the ball.
And 10 years ago, you look at that kid, you never thought he'd be a star NFL player, star NBA player, right?
Yeah.
So that's interesting, Asher. I like that.
And
I like that.
just I don't want to cut you off, but just one more
good.
thing. Like my catchphrase is like, the journey is the destination, because there's no end point where you get to and it's done. It's not like, oh, I'm 43, I hit the amount of money I want to have, I'm done. I just sit on a yacht and do nothing for the rest of my life. Like the whole purpose is it's a way of life, and you continue to get better, and you're better the next day than you were before.
For sure.
And it never ends.
For sure. 100%. Awesome. Okay, so we got about 5 minutes here left in the pod. We're going to try to have these episodes around like 14-15 minutes, Asher. I think that's like the sweet spot there. So we'll talk about some NBA. All right, Greg, who you got winning the NBA championship in 2022, 2023?
Putting me on the spot there. I don't know. I need a little more evaluation. But if you put me on the spot right now, I would probably have Bucks Clippers final. I've been hating on the Clippers the last couple of years. You know me. I was so happy when they lost in the bubble. But realistically, the pickup of John Wall, they've got a good overall team. I think that Ty Lue's going to get them together. As long as they play healthy and they stay together, they do have a ton of talent. Yep. And then obviously out of the East, Giannis is just a beast. And the East got a lot better. Boston obviously is going to be there. Philly's got something to say. I just don't know if I trust Harden. And based on what I've seen, you know, from Middleton, Drew Holiday, like if I had to put my money down, I'd say the Bucks get there. So I'd have Bucks Clippers in the final, and I'd probably take the Bucks.
The Bucks?
I'd probably take the Bucks.
Asher.
And then
Asher, sorry to interrupt you, Asher. Asher, NFL, who's winning the Super Bowl this year? Who you got, Asher?
Put me in the spot. I got the Ticats. NFL, I mean, got the Rams. Brady's back, like, you know, we thought and stuff. So we got the Buccaneers that can obviously make some noise as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams.
The Rams. So repeat. Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp's that guy, man. I know they lost their first game of the season.
I was gonna say, did you watch the game? I don't know. The Bills are a problem, bro.
The Bills are a problem,
bro. The Bills, they beat the Rams, but like, I mean, Cooper Kupp's still a problem. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Really, really good.
He actually is like he's a difference
first
maker,
game.
like straight up, bro.
Difference maker, and like just watching what he did last season. And like, you can't really like, you know, sleep on those guys. Like,
that's true. They're
champions.
Champions.
The first game can't dictate how the whole season's gonna go. So
for sure.
The Rams too.
Yeah, and I think in that game they were missing Odell Beckham Jr. Yeah. You seen in the pregame he was there, like hosting the trophy, and like the thing was that Cooper Kupp, the reason why he excelled so much is because like they had Odell. Like Odell would be flanked to the other side. You have two elite receivers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now with Odell out of the lineup, Cooper Kupp, they're going to double team him. They're going to focus more on him, right?
I don't know if it matters, bro. Matthew Stafford only throws to Kupp. If you watch the game, he did like 23 balls. He gets the snap. He's like, look, where the hell is this guy? Yeah, facts. That's how he plays.
That's
I feel
true.
bad for the other players. They're just running for no reason.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, they brought Allen Robinson there to be like a legit number 2. Well, did he play on Sunday? I watched the game. I didn't see him
True,
out
yeah,
there.
I
Like,
didn't see him out
so.
there either.
But yeah, Stafford's gonna force feed that guy. That guy's just different though. 32 points first week, and he's
Yeah.
projected
Yeah.
high as 23. Like, man. After what he did last year, that's very impressive. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. But yeah, man.
What about you,
Actually,
Connor? Who's winning the World Series, buddy?
New York Yankees, bro.
I don't know if we watched that baseball like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't film a UFC preview, and I'm sure by the time this episode comes out, the fights will be done. But
Who you got on your card tonight?
on the card, so I got Hamzat winning, and I got Tony
Okay.
Ferguson winning. So I think Tony Ferguson's going to beat Nate Diaz, and I believe Hamzat Chimaev is going to beat who's he fighting? Kevin Holland. So those are like my 2 picks for the fights tonight.
I like that.
We'll see if I'm right in the next episode. Episode
There
5.
you go.
Episode
There you
5.
go.
Episode 5 CK Chop
We're
Shop.
building up fast over here already. It's only been
yeah,
like 3-4
100%.
weeks, and they're just sending
We're
out.
just-
Yeah, we're gonna
New content
we're gonna,
for the
we're-
fans.
We're gonna pump them out. We're gonna talk about we're gonna broaden topics. We're gonna do what we did today on our next episode and go for it, Asher.
I was gonna just say quickly. So I don't know if you guys saw some of the content Connor was able to put out. Follow him on Instagram.
Yeah,
CK
100%.
Chop on IG.
Yeah.
But Connor went out there. He was with the people at the Ticats game. He was filming some content. Got to speak to some people, do some interviews.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind sharing with your audience, how did that go?
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. We were able to get a couple of interviews with some fans, some former players, and some current players. Was able to have a quick chat with Robbie Smith there, which was a lot of fun. And me and Greg may be heading down to Ottawa in the next couple weeks. so
Maybe it's a fact. Book it, okay? We'll be there. Why do you think I'm wearing number 1 out here? Come on,
maybe bringing
some.
some content down in Ottawa, but that was a lot of fun last year for sure.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah. So can we expect more of that or no?
Oh yeah. We're coming with it.
Yeah, give my boys some subscribers out here. If you watch this video, click the subscribe button, okay? You can't have this guy on 1 or 0, okay? Get it up to at least 5, 10. We'll be doing some giveaways, and he'll be back, okay? He's dressed nice in the pink Nike, okay? Show him some respect, right?
Exactly. Come on, boys. Don't watch it.
You know.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Greg, and I appreciate you coming on today,
Of course,
man.
anytime. You got my number, just call me in. We'll do it again. Run it back. Episode 6, 7, whatever you want.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, hey, that's episode 4.
5.
Episode
4, no,
Episode
this is
4.
4.
See, we're getting ahead of ourselves already. Episode 4, CK Chop Shop. That's a wrap. Y'all have a good day. Stay positive, stay healthy, and get out in that sunshine.
Cheers, bro.
Peace.